What is up, everybody? It's the Don with the Don Tech, and today I wanted to go over a highly anticipated product review. I finally got my hands on the CableMod series kit for my Corsair power supply. This is a white version of the C-Series premium cabling kit. What is up, everybody? It's the Don with the Don Tech, and today I wanted to give you my highly anticipated review and unboxing of the CableMod C-Series premium cable kit from CableMod. I've talked about wanting to do a review of these before. I finally got my hands on one, so let's go ahead and get into it. So as you can see, they did a really nice job in making it in a nice small box. It's not really a big footprint at all, shipped in a small box as well. So you got pretty much a box inside of a box that was mailed to me, and I realize this probably isn't gonna look all that great because I have white cables on a white cloth with a black background, but we will deal with what we got. Alright, so then they just come in a little mesh pouch itself that's tied. They smell exactly like fresh cables do. Alright, so this should be a complete kit of every cable that I need for my computer. Does that look any better? Already I can tell these cables are actually very thin feeling, very nice feeling already, just from the get-go. Each one is an individual baggie. There's no marking, so you just kind of have to guess or realize which one it is. Let's go ahead and try to organize here. All right, let me tell you, they give you a lot of cables and a lot of different varieties. So starting with what we've got first, they go ahead and they give you a little Molex to floppy sort of connector in the event that you need it. It's not specialized, it's not sleeved, it's just a basic black cable. You have one 24-pin connection. That's standard to have for your power. As for Molex, they give you two Molex connections that split off into one power. So one power to two Molex connections. And they also give you one that splits off into three Molex connections. So it's nice to have a variety because when you're cabling something, sometimes you only need to have one, two, or three devices. You don't need to have all three every single time. So following Molex, we have SATA. We've got one of them, two SATA things that come with just two SATA ports themselves. That's definitely nice. And then you also have two of them that come with four connections, sorry. So one SATA power, three connections. Four connections. Why did I do that again? So you have two of those. For PCI Express, you have a lot of different options here. These two PCI Express are going to be, let's actually open one here. This PCI Express is going to be a single power to two cable or to two pins for the leads itself. So if your graphics card requires two 8 pins or two 6 or an 8 and a 6, this is the cable that you would use. It includes two of those for a nice setup, which is pretty cool. And alternatively, if you don't need that, you just need a single 8-pin, they have three of them that come with just the single 8-pin connection itself. And lastly, what you get, as far as I can tell, are three different 8-pin CPU connections. Now, from what I can see here, two of them are the same length, and one of them is shorter. They do not include any cabling combs or cable management ties or anything like that. I thought that was pretty interesting, but you can't get it all, I guess. Let's take a look at the overall quality of this guy. You've got the 24-pin that goes to the motherboard, and you have these two leads that go to the actual power supply itself. They make it nice and simple so you can only plug it in one direction. You don't have to worry about crossing, or plugging something in incorrectly. So on the feeling of these, this 20 to 24 pin adapter here slides into place, which is nice, which will keep it sturdy. Some of them will actually have it so it doesn't slide or anything, but you kind of snap it in and then it can snap right off again. That's a lackluster design, I'd say. So the one where you can slide it on is superior. Overall, the feel on this is actually really nice. I like the cables themselves. They don't feel too rigid. They feel firm, but not too firm to the point where you touch it and you move it and it just kind of like stays there indefinitely. You can see it's kind of bouncing back a little bit. If you've seen my previous video on my BitPhoenix cables, you'll see that they themselves had some very rigidness to it where you bent it some direction and it would stay in that direction. Can you guess what's in this box? Cable combs and accessories. This is pretty much from when I was doing my office build, which I still haven't made a video about, and I really need to get on that. I bought a whole bunch of stuff from China off of eBay, little cable clips and stuff, and I bought a giant pack of different pin sizes to thread out the actual cables themselves. This is the one that came with my Bitphoenix kit, and that's one that came with the kit that I bought from China. So you have two different types. I wanted to go ahead and see how these actually thread throughout and how they feel, and see if I get some of the same complications with them as I did with my Bitphoenix cables. Unfortunately, even CableMod is susceptible to this. And maybe this is just because I'm an idiot when it comes to this stuff. But you see right here how it's two cables in one prong. I understand that they may lead to different spots at the end result, but it's really annoying because when you try to thread these things through, you have to fill two cable spots in one hole, and it doesn't always go that well. I'll try to demonstrate. So hard to really tell. This is actually a very slippery cable, so these don't really stick at all. But what I'm trying to say here is that you have to put two cables in one spot and they just don't stay. I don't know if these cable combs are necessarily worth it because they just don't stick. These will actually stick in between, but they're so much thicker because they're rubber that it kind of like ruins the appeal of it. But let's see what it looks like with that. That's actually a lot nicer. It stays pretty well, and it actually has a nice feel to it. So the rubberized ones actually for this work really well with this kit, much better than the Bitphoenix ones that they came with. The one that they only have two wires on one of the prongs, which is great. The Bitphoenix one had 3 or 4 of them, I think. It was ridiculous. So only having one definitely makes a big difference, and it actually stays in pretty well with the rubberized ones there. So it's not actually moving and is staying in pretty nicely. So, and there's actually a good gap between them, if you can see. They're not really overlapping, and they're staying pretty doggone straight. I'm a lot more impressed with these cables and the way that they respond to this little cable comb itself. So I like that a lot. I think I'm gonna be really impressed with these. That's pretty much the overview and unboxing there of those actual cables themselves. So there you have it, guys, the unboxing and first look for me at these particular cables. So when it comes down to the actual review of them themselves, I haven't built with them yet, obviously, but I plan on using them to upgrade my gaming computer. I'm switching themes, I'm getting a better all-in-one cooler in there, I'm upgrading my graphics card, and I'm getting some new fans as well that are going to be white. So there's going to be some reviews of those products coming soon, and as well as using these in that actual build. Like I said, I was really happy that Newegg finally started to sell these kits themselves, and they actually made them in a kit. I didn't have to go to CableMod.com and customize which one I wanted, think about the size that I wanted. And as you can tell as well, I didn't really talk about the size of these. They're just the standard that you would get in any kit that would come with a power supply itself. So if you want the actual specifics, I'll link to the product down below so you can go ahead and check it out on Newegg as well and get any more information about the product itself if you want it. So definitely stick around, subscribe if you want to see more videos where I do my best to review a product that I've kind of just touched a little bit. And I'm going to be doing a comparison video between my CableMod cables, my Bitphoenix cables, my Corsair cables that are featured in this case here, and my Corsair cables that come stock with a power supply. So give this video a like if you liked it, give it a dislike if you want to buy cables that will short and set your computer on fire. I'll see you in the next video, and remember, the Don's got your back. I have a fancy new remote now, and what I can do is if I press this red button up here, it will stop